This episode of CropLife Retail Week brought to you by Liberty Ultra Herbicide from BASF, the best Liberty yet. Hello, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron. Back again with my regular partner in crime, Lara Sowinski. Lara, I missed you for a week. How you been?
Yeah, I know. It feels like it's been a year.
It's funny how that happens when the videos air versus when we record them, and it's like when we have an in-between week like we did this past week where we had a guest, special guest that was not you. It was just like, geez, it's been like 10 days since I talked to Lara. I'm sure that the kids are all grown and gone through college and whatever. So how you been?
Been well. Yeah, just riding the exciting wave of the start of the year and doing a lot of travel. Both of us, actually, everyone on our team, of course, though. Good conversations with folks, learning a lot of stuff. So yeah, all good.
Well, good. And as you mentioned, this is the first quarter of the year. It's usually when most of the trade shows, the state association shows, take place. And now the national shows are starting to happen. But before we get into a little bit of a preview of that, or highlights thereof, I think another thing that we're known for in the first quarter, of course, earnings reports. So I think you have one to share with us on a company that I think a few people might know in agriculture. So
Indeed.
Take it away, Miss Lara.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. John Deere had their Q1 earnings call on February 13th, and Manufacturing Dive and reporter Nathan Owens had a nice recap of some of the highlights from that earnings call. The news, Q1 sales for John Deere slumped 35% to $6.8 billion over last year. Obviously, sluggish global demand for ag and earth-moving equipment was behind that. But I did pull up the earnings call because I wanted to kind of get into a little more of the details and understand what's going on. Joshua Jepson, Deere's senior vice president and CFO, had a couple comments regarding tariffs when he was asked about that. And I'm going to highlight some of what Joshua said. I think it's important because as we've kind of been talking about, obviously the down farm economy and such, and now being a good time to, take a more critical look at the business operations of the farm and seeing if there's any opportunities, whether it's inventory or whatever, to, kind of make some tweaks anywhere we can to make sure the business is optimized best it can be. Again, whether you're John Deere or a smaller company, I think that all the time, kind of the fundamentals, supply chain management 101, if you will. But so Joshua Jepson, again, when asked about tariffs, called the situation certainly fluid. We continue to monitor changes in policy as they occur. Teams across the organization are continually running potential scenarios to understand risks along with opportunities to mitigate the impacts, again, of tariffs. So kind of like that the modeling, if you will, supply chain modeling, how, where, when, again, always kind of making those tweaks. He also mentioned, quote, within Deere's business, first, a reminder about our operational footprint is, you'll recall, we are a net exporter of ag and turf equipment from the U.S., and more than 75% of our domestic U.S. sales are assembled at U.S. manufacturing locations. Less than 5% of our U.S. complete goods sales come from Mexico, and the remaining products produced outside the U.S. The majority come from Europe, notably our 6 Series tractors. He added that from an export perspective, over half of our exports serve our Canadian customers, with the remainder going to Europe, Brazil, and Australia. In terms of component sourcing, about 10% of our U.S. manufacturing cost of goods sold come from Mexico, with less than 2% coming from China and approximately 1% from Canada. So here's the part, again, that kind of stood out for me. as far as a takeaway of supply chain management best practices. He says that for the last several years, our teams have focused diligently on both supplier resiliency and cost management. The actions taken by our supply management team in response to pandemic disruptions, such as dual sourcing, strengthening relationships with key suppliers, are prime examples of the step function change our organization has made to build a more resilient and adaptable business. The group works to manage and optimize our global trade flows, which position us well to navigate the current environment. And then kind of on another note regarding the recent calls for tariffs on aluminum and steel, he noted that, and given the rapidly evolving nature of these tariffs, our guide does not contemplate the direct cost or economic impacts resulting from potential future tariffs. It is important to note, however, that our exposure to the recently enacted China tariffs is expected to have an immaterial amount on our business. So again, kind of the takeaway, making those adjustments best as we can right now with the farm economy, what it is. I just think, I say this enough. It's almost like, just the last, I don't even know how many years, let's just say decades ago, kind of the fundamentals of supply chain, diversify your suppliers best you can, not putting all your eggs, your sourcing, your procurement in one basket. What can you do to right size and optimize the inventory level so that you're not carrying too much? Just kind of always taking a look at what you're doing and making sure that it's, the best it can be, as particularly right now. There's so much that we don't know. I was honestly, as I was preparing for today, I was trying to come up with some hard things. These are the things we know. There's not a whole lot we do know right now. A lot of things have been proposed, but again, kind of as John Deere says, things are fluid right now. So again, all the more try and mitigate risks with what you know and the best you can. So anyway, that was John Deere's earnings call from February 13th. And I know, again, this is kind of a shared across the ag equipment sector. So kind of curious to hear what you found out when you were on the ground there at the Farm Machinery Show.
Yeah, actually, thanks for that segue, because yes, of course, the one of the big events for the equipment manufacturing side of agriculture, of course, is the National Farm Machinery Show, which took place in mid-February in Louisville, Kentucky, as it always does. And actually, a bunch of us from CropLife and CropLife Iron were on hand. And just some notes on that show. It's the 59th annual, or 59th National Farm Machinery Show. I think they skipped a year or two for the COVID years. Takes up 1.2 million square feet of the Kentucky Exposition Center, about 800 exhibitors. And as you might imagine, Laura, a lot of the exhibits are, it's everything all across agriculture. There's livestock exhibits with gating and stuff like that. There's a lot of tractors, a lot of combines, not our market, but as you might imagine, a lot of the companies that ag retailers do business with are present on the show floor. So they'll find tenders and spreaders, and of course some sprayers. John Deere was there with a sprayer. A couple other major of the companies that we know had sprayers on the show floor as well. Again, most of the folks were talking a little bit about tariffs and trade. That was a big topic of conversation. Everybody kind of worried. Everybody in a holding pattern at the moment, wondering what's going to mean. I know the earnings for folks were not rosy, but on the bright side, most people are planning at least to do some upgrades or introduce some new products into the marketplace here in 2025. I think in a couple of weeks, when you and I are at the Commodity Classic in Denver, we'll be seeing more of these new products making their market debuts. But there were hints that was coming. And then one thing I do want to point out, one of the things I attended, National Farm Machinery Show, of course, the show floor is the big thing, but there were a couple of seminar sessions, educational sessions, and one of them was talking about a disease we know pretty well in corn, tar spot. And it was kind of interesting. The speaker there was talking about ways to kind of mitigate the risk to having tar spot in your field, mentioned why 2024 was such a terrible year for tar spot in the Midwest, but made the point at the end of their conversation that proper fertilization, proper crop nutrients can help corn combat tar spot. They specifically mentioned the use of sulfur and copper and boron and zinc micronutrients as some of the things that farmers can put into their fields to help maybe fight against tar spot, make the plants a little healthier so they can fight back. So I would imagine retailers, if you're listening to this broadcast for 2025, look for some activity on those in those four macro and micronutrients.
You said sulfur, copper, boron, and zinc?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting. Thanks, Eric.
Yep, no problem. So, hey, before we go further, let us take a break and get a note from our sponsor, BASF.
After 30 years in the market, Liberty herbicide was ready for an upgrade. BASF is proud to deliver the best Liberty herbicide yet. We took an important tool for farmers and made it better. A better Liberty herbicide for tougher weeds on the best farms. Liberty Ultra Herbicide, powered by Gluel technology from BASF. Visit liberty-ultra.us to learn more.
So, Laura, as I mentioned just before our commercial break, the National Farm Machinery Show took place last week in Louisville, Kentucky. And one of my happy privileges at the show was something that we've been doing for better than a dozen years now here at our sister publication, CropLife Iron. The magazine every year has finalists for what we call the Product of the Year. The readers of the magazine vote over a 1-month time frame during the fall, and then we award a trophy to the best product for the year to the company that gets the most votes. And I'm happy to tell everyone that the Product of the Year for 2024 from CropLife Iron readers was the Salford Group for their SS 400 Plus spinner spreader. And here is a video of myself. I'm handing off the video of me from the video to the video of myself handing off the trophy at the National Farm Machinery Show. So here, enjoy this video clip of Salford accepting the trophy.
Hello, this is Eric Sfiligoj. I'm editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron here at the 2025 National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm here for a very special occasion this year. We are presenting the 2024 CropLife Iron Product of the Year trophy. And I'm happy to report the winner is the Salford Group for their SS 400 Plus spinner spreader. And I am here with Gavin Held. So Gavin, congratulations on behalf of the CropLife Iron readers on winning this award.
Thank you very much.
So tell me, how does it feel to be the award winner for Product of the Year in 2024?
Oh, this is great. A lot of time and effort went into building this machine and the design of it. And I'm very excited for Salford to be able to receive this award for CropLife. And yeah, it's been great.
Very good. So if you could share with our viewers as we're running this video, what are some of the unique features of the SS 400 Plus and what makes it such a special unit for the marketplace?
Yeah, so what sets the unit apart is that it's a dual capable lime and fertilizer machine. On the fertilizer side of the machine itself, it actually has the capability of doing 12 section control. So you get the precision application of the machine as well as the capacity and durability of a Salford built unit. It also has the capability of a dual bin, so you can apply multiple products at the same time on the fertilizer side of things. And then you can also remove that rear bin and then do lime application. So it makes it a very, very versatile and highly productive and efficient machine for the operator. It also has on fertilizer side a swath width 120 feet, and so it's very productive.
Okay. Now, I know you introduced this unit. I saw it for the first time at the 2024 Maggie Show in Bloomington back in August. And I know that you've been doing a lot of field trials and customer tests with it. What kind of feedback have you gotten from the folks that use it for? What do they like about it?
Yeah, the main points that we've gotten back is simplicity. The unit is very, very simple to operate. There's not a lot of moving parts on it. As well as productivity. Productivity is probably one of the biggest feedback items that we do get on the machine. with its high capacity at 420 cubic feet in the single bin configuration, as well as the 120-foot spread width. The machine loves to consume acres. I mean, that's what, customers are looking for, is that high productivity of the machine.
Very good. So again, on behalf of CropLife Iron and its readers and all of us at CropLife, congratulations on winning the 2024 Product of the Year for the SS 400 Plus Spinner Spreader.
Thank you very much.
So that was the trophy presentation at the National Farm Machinery Show to the Salford Group. Again, on behalf of CropLife and CropLife Iron and all its readers, congratulations, Salford, for winning the trophy for 2024.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, I know. They were very, very pleased with it. And again, there were dozens of people watching us record that video. Wow. And it was very special. I always love handing off that trophy. We always do it at one of the trade shows that takes place during the winter, and this year it was National Farm Machinery Show. So again, congratulations, Salford.
Yeah, congratulations. That's great.
All right, well, Miss Laura, time for your favorite segment of the show. Time for Fun with Numbers.
Yep, let's go.
All right.
Want a street.
I got a big number for you this week. So,
okay.
All right, your number, not a percentage, not a dollar amount, just plain old number, 300,000. Okay.
Can't wait to see what the D option is, but go ahead.
All right. Well, we'll get there shortly, but before we get to D, Miss Laura, is 300,000, is that A, the number of new products shown at the National Farm Machinery Show? Is it B, the number of attendees at the National Farm Machinery Show? Is it C, the number of farm units, that would be tractors, sprayers, combines, displayed at the National Farm Machinery Show? Or is it D, the number of steps I took covering the National Farm Machinery Show? And as I noted, 1.2 million square feet of exhibit floor to cover. I took a lot of steps. So,
did you wear out some shoes or break your Fitbit or iWatch or something? How many steps are we talking here?
I did not, and I did not actually track steps. I know one of our sales reps has a Fitbit. He was tracking. It was about 35 to 40,000, I believe. But I know that when I got back from the show, I had terrible shin splints on my right leg. Oh my gosh.
Well, we could, I can get you a little scooter for commodity and I could ride behind and we could.
I think I will be recovered by commodity. So what's your guess? New products, attendees, or farm units? What do you think?
I'm going with B, attendees.
You are correct. Congratulations, Miss Laura. Yes, according to the National Farm Machinery Show, they get an average of 300,000 attendees each year that walk through the floor, the exhibit hall, during the 4 days the show is held. And they note that they get plenty of international attendees as well. People from as far away as Germany, Norway, and England also come to the event. So
awesome. That's a lot of folks. That's great.
Yes, and I can vouch for that, because when you're walking through, a scooter wouldn't do you much good, because I know some people have scooters and they usually get stuck in the rows that are really, really popular, and they don't make up very much ground. Being mobile and on foot is definitely an advantage at a show like this. So,
wow, cool. Well, I'm glad.
All right.
You had a great show. Welcome home.
Yes. Thank you. All right, well, everyone, thank you for joining us for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. On behalf of myself and everyone at CropLife, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week.
This episode of CropLife Retail Week brought to you by Liberty Ultra Herbicide from BASF, the best Liberty yet.
If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.